Redfin, Zillow, the NAR, several other analytics companies and analysts have come out with more and more data. It's starting to roll out. There are few of us in a corner, the slither of the finance and real estate space, as far as professionals and content creators, have been telling you for the longest, for months now, the residential real estate market is at a brand new bottom. Those who own property right now and those who get in on properties in reasonable timing are going to make a fortune the next 3 to 5 years. The data is coming out. Housing prices through the majority of the United States housing market are going through the roof. Not yet, but progressively. This is an opportunity for those of you who either own property or are in a position in the next few months or so to get in on some property to make a fortune. I'm going to give you 3 strategies on how you can capitalize on this without owning rentals, without having to flip houses, wholesaling, none of that. You're going to have a very simple set of 3 strategies you can take, whether you don't own a home yet or you own a home and want to make the most. Here we go. Number 1, you don't own a home yet, buy one. Simple. Primary residence doesn't have to be anything special. Find a desirable area, a market that has sustainability for growth where people want to live, and get in on it. Make sure it's affordable for you, obviously, run the numbers. But I'm telling you right now, get in on quality housing. You really can go to the outskirts of cities right now. You don't have to buy in the heart of the city anymore or in the immediate suburban areas in the city. You can go 10, 15, 20, 25 miles out. Since COVID, people have been constantly going dozens of miles out of cities to buy because the inventory is so low and so bad inside of cities. You can go 15, 20, 25 miles out, buy where it's more affordable, and still play in this grand opportunity for wealth transfer and home ownership. Number 2, if you own an existing home, then you need to maximize the equity in that home. Can you make additions or renovations that will add quality equity to the property? Don't go do cutesy stuff to the property. None of that. We're talking about real sustainable improvements to the property. One major strategy that works that people don't really think about, if you're in a good neighborhood and your house is one of the smaller houses by 200-300 square feet or more in that neighborhood, and the valuations of properties that are larger around you make sense, add that 200 to 300 square feet to your existing property. It's astonishing how much equity you can gain from that, because it may cost you $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000 to add that square footage, but you could get $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in equity from it. Just statistically, mathematically speaking, it's very common to get this. It's a very, very positive strategy. That's number 2. Make positive improvements to your property or make renovations or additions, sensible additions to the property. Make sure the math works. Don't go out and spend all this money or pull equity out of your property to do this, and the math doesn't add up and the comparables aren't there. Make sure the comps are there. Number 3, if you have a solid property already, go find a market somewhere else you wouldn't mind traveling or visiting and buy a second property. People don't pay attention to this strategy, but it's a great way to own good real estate with great loan options, because it's a second property. You still can do less than 20% down in many cases and use it as a second home or a vacation property. You don't have to rent it if you don't want to. You don't have to go through all of that. Just buy in a desirable area that you don't mind visiting or traveling to a couple times a year for a reasonable amount of time, a handful of weeks out of the year. Buy in a desirable area. Buy in the outskirts of a desirable area, in a good subdivision, a suburban area. If you can find a more exotic location that has good equity potential, go for it. I'm telling you right now, these are 3 major strategies that don't need rentals, don't need fix and flips, don't need wholesaling, where you can make tens to potentially over $100,000 in net worth increase in property value, home equity on an existing property, a new primary residence, or a secondary property in the next 3 to 5 years. That is astounding. There's not much else you can do with that low of a risk and come up that well in that window of time. The property values for real estate, residential real estate, are at the bottom in the majority of the United States. Foreclosures won't save it. And many buyers have interest rates too low on their properties to sell. The inventory is too low. Builders won't catch up. I'm telling you right now, even when interest rates start to go down and unlocks people to sell their existing homes to move up, the demand is still going to be overwhelming for the amount of new inventory that's going to hit the market. The next 3 to 5 years, barring some crazy event, are going to be insane for residential property owners in reasonably desirable areas. I'm telling you and forewarning you again, at least get a quality primary residence. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make the effort, put in the work before the Federal Reserve drops interest rates down and pulls mortgage rates down with it, or they win their battle on inflation and pull mortgage rates down that way. In either case, when mortgage rates get down below 6, it is going to be a feeding frenzy in the majority of the United States. Don't say I didn't tell you anything. Comment down below and let me know which one of these strategies is up your alley, how you plan on implementing it, what banks and lenders you plan on working with, and what do you foresee for the housing market? Comment down below. To all my pioneers, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome in. If you want to learn more about myself and the channel, start in the description section and work your way to the about section of the channel. And of course, subscribe, like this video, and share it to other homeowners or prospective homeowners who can get value from it. Other than that, I want y'all to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.